projects today over at the Workbench. In the big box, I got this little control tower. I thought it was broken because the top was off, right? And the back is separated, but it just sits like that. But, and I'm not sure if this is stock. I haven't really looked at the inside of it. I looked at the outside to determine, yeah, there is a staircase that I need to get. I already knew there was a clock tower and there's megaphones. I have one I put on top of the other control tower, which I'm going to make like a press box. There's two of those that go on the top of that. So I have to order them from Action Slots. They sell them, but right now they're out of stock. They're used. So they just go here in the corner. You can see the two little holes. So one of the holes, the little loudspeaker, had the bung, the tab of it had broken off inside. So I just took the little smallest screwdriver I had, really more of an awl than a screwdriver, AWL, and poked from the underside up to clear it. So now there's no interference there. It just goes straight through. The other thing I did was took the box itself that the track came in and cut a piece with my hobby knife. I just turned this upside down, the bottom floor, and traced it out with the hobby knife. So now this sits inside, if you put it in the correct orientation. This sits down inside there, and I'm going to go paint it black right now. I already prepped the two new inner borders, and I prepped a couple of lead-ins, and they're going to get painted black, same as last time. Then after the black dries, hit it with the textured paint. And so I'm also going to paint this black just so it's not so obvious. Once again, I'm not sure if these came with floors, but this doesn't have one, and it doesn't make sense to me to have a door and stairs leading to upstairs if there's no floor. So I'm just made it real quick out of cardboard. Much easier to deal with than plastic, obviously. Cut really easy, and I'm just going to go hit it with the rattle can of black. The other thing I did today on the bench, it's Sunday morning. My girlfriend's off today. She works Monday through Saturday like most Thai people do. Why they don't have Saturday off like we did in the States, I don't know. It's just the way it is here. So I try to spend as much time with her as I can on Sunday. So I'm not going to mess with the track today. I'm not doing any of that just this morning while she's still sleeping. She sleeps in on Sunday because it's not her work day. So while she's still sleeping, I just came down to, mess around a little bit. I got a lot of painting to do. You see, I've got all these figures broken out, and they all need paint. So sometime I'm going to hit probably Monday, Tuesday. Monday's a holiday. She works, but most of the banks and stuff are closed. So probably Monday I'll sit and spend a day painting. I really need probably 8 to 10 hours of painting to get all these figures painted. So anyway, the other thing I did real quick this morning is deburr track. Well, what's deburr track mean? Well, this track is pretty, oh, she's awake, okay. This track is in pretty good shape. It's got, nice rails, and the track itself, the surface is good. Doesn't have all the rubber and all that stuff. But because it's made in Hong Kong, and I know the Chinese are mad when I say that because they want to be number one and all this crap, whatever. They're very proud people, arrogant, whatever. But anyway, being that it's made in Hong Kong, there's going to be some aberrations. And this track, you can see there's actually down there's a couple of little, oh, hi, Sody Cup. And one of her friends came over to hang out with her today. Anyway, you can see the little burr, and I've already sanded it down. I took the hobby knife, I ran it over the track flat, straight, right? You want to make sure it's straight, just like that. Just take it level, and if it hangs up, then make a sawing motion, to slice off a little bubble of plastic from the mold. And then I took pretty aggressive sandpaper, like 80 grit sandpaper, and I went over it And then here on this piece, you can actually see it better. There's two on this piece. There's two little nicks and aberrations. So you see the kind of whitish powder, you know, from the sandpaper. And then I used an emery board, which is really a perfect sanding block because it's flat and straight, and you know, it smooths down the bumps very well. And this track still has another little burr, so you can see what I'm talking about when I say burr. If this will focus, there it is, see? Just a little doodad hanging off. Now I didn't clear that one out because it's on the side of the track, but that's kind of what these two spots look like. You can see the plastic still sticking a little bit above the track. Whoa. But anyway, yeah, that's what I did tomorrow. I deburred the two pieces. Now I can put these back and use them because they are good. The rails are nice and the rest of the track is good. What is the likelihood that the tire is going to hit out here? Probably slim to none, especially if I have it on a long straightaway where there's a straight before it and a straight after it. But if you're coming out of a curb, yeah, your tire could easily come over here and hit that. So it took 1 minute to slice it with the knife and deburr it. So just look for that on your track if you have any of these little dingleberries here. And go ahead and slice it flat with a knife and then sand it down. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm gonna go paint the quote floor that I've made, paint these black, let them dry, and hit them with the metallic paint, and that's it. I'm not really gonna mess with the track the rest of the day. This is a second video. I haven't uploaded the one from yesterday yet. But what I've changed, what's come to my mind after I made the video that you'll see before this. So I'm not going to show the whole track again because it's, you know, I did a video and I will upload it. But the way I left it was this is going to be the entrance to the two 4-foot boards. And yes, I had to tear up my little practice track, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to do what I'm about to tell you. I cannibalized the simple oval to get the parts for the big long layout, which I'm thinking is going to be the final layout, but we'll see, right? I'm going to live with it for a little bit. But part of that, step number one, I cannibalized my practice track so I can't run cars this morning, right? Okay, done. Number two, what I want to do is live with this layout for a little bit. And what I mean by that is, here's the entrance, right? I explained in the other video the cars are going to start running that way instead of this way. So they're going to go around, down the big straight into the bank curve, which is not banked right now, but it will be. That's the bank curve track. It will be elevated. And then when I come out here, right, and I have it running, should be under the bridge, as I mentioned in the other video, and down to here. The plan was to exit after I do whatever over here, figure eights, elevated bridges, crossovers, all kinds of shit is going to go on over here, right? This is the fancy part of the track. Although I put some wiggles in, right, in the big track, but really this is the complicated. My goal here on these two boards is to put as much track as possible on the boards. You'll see with the new layout, I have quite a bit of open space. I didn't intend to do it that way. I just laid the track out. I started with the bank curve down there. As I explained, I ran the straight and worked my way this way. And in doing that, I left quite a bit of open space for pit row, for concession stands, for grandstands, anything I could want to put, trees, there's room. I hit the 80-20 just about. I haven't measured it or anything, but that's kind of what I had in mind. I think this is a good balance of track to decorations, right? And then over here, like I said, yeah, will it be open spaces? Yeah, I'm not going to lay track on every square inch of these two boards, but the primary thing here is to use as much track as possible which is kind of what I did with the last layout here. This one is more open. I left room for the barriers. I tested. You can see here, I put a barrier there and I put a barrier there. They're almost touching, but not quite. So, you know, here I laid out with the borders and the barriers in mind, the spaces. So what I'm going to do, not today, once again, today is relax, chill out with the girlfriend day. I'm going to tie this off. I'm going to take the hairpin, pieces of hairpin, and use them to get from the exit of the bank curve over to the main track, where it all started. So right now, I'm not going to worry about tying in to the other track. You know, that was the return I was setting up, and this was the entrance. Well, for right now, screw that. I'll just connect the bank curve down to here, to a series of curves, right? However I got to do it. I'll engineer it, I'll figure it out. Not going to mess with it today, but that will let me run on this track. And by running the cars on this track, I'll find problems, I can fix track, I can tweak connections, all the stuff I talked about doing, literally going piece by piece. I've put my best track on here, except for those two Deburring. You can see I have one over there coming out of the chicane. That's a little bit, I can see gray marks. That's set track, right? So I can improve two pieces that look a little nasty. Maybe that one there a little bit, but yeah, here you go. This one is pretty rough. So I'll replace those two pieces with the track I just deburred, because those have good rails and they're clean track. Right here, yeah. So there's three pieces. Anywhere I can, I'll replace the track. That's pretty much a bad stack. All that is pretty nasty, you can see. So, and I'll put the lap counter in there. I'll go ahead and put the electronic lap counter. I purposely put a half track in right here to hold the place for the lap counter when I was building this track. But anyway, after I made that video, the idea occurred to me, I need to use this track. So I'm not going to wait until I figure out what's going in the center, or even now on both. I'm going to go ahead and just tie it in and run cars and have some fun. And there's nothing like squeezing the trigger all the way down and running down that back straight. I mean, it's just a blast. It's what flat car scale racing really is a better name for it, I think, is all about, right? And then you got the technical curves and all that. Anyway, I have a whole nother video on this set. I just wanted to say that something that's not in that video is I'm going to tie the two together and run this track, what I call shake it down, right? Just practice, use it and fix any problems that along the way until it's running, and just about every car can run on it is the goal. And then I'll have my lap times, because I do have my counter now, which I've been waiting for. So I'll actually be able to see how long it takes to get around this monster track. And that's good, because part of, the straight was just pure acceleration. This is a pretty long straight coming out of this one too. So I've got a couple places where I can, and even this is a nice long straight down here in the front. So there's three places to really kind of open the cars up and take advantage of the motors in the hot cars, and yet there's plenty of turns, bank curve and hairpin. You notice I don't have, on this layout, I got rid of the plain R2 radius, not the concrete one, but the other one. There's pieces of it right there. Remember that one that used to be down there inside the bank curve? Yeah, that's been replaced with a hairpin. But still, somehow I have more space now, open space, greenery than I did before. Interesting. Last thing, really I want to make this one short, as I seem incapable of making a short video, is another thought occurred to me. I am going to, now that I laid this down, I'm going to take the grass up. And the reason I'm going to do that is to make it easier to put the distribution blocks in. Like I said, I reordered the distribution blocks since the first one hasn't come, and it's been almost 2 weeks, I think. So that something happened to that order, disappeared in the China Sea, whatever. But I want to I'm gonna drill all these holes for the distribution blocks and running the wires to the track. So that will be easier without the grass, number one. Number two, when I go to put the grass back, I can go ahead and cut the grass like this and just put it around the track, which is what I was talking about before, sinking the track down in between pieces of grass. All right, this is technically infield grass, and I'll make it infield grass. I'll cut out a piece shaped like this, you know. So, you know what I mean? I'll fill in between the track with the grass. I'll wait to do that until I've lived with the track for a while and make sure that this is the quote final configuration. Once I cut that grass, I'm committed to this layout. So I've got to make sure I'm really happy with this layout before I cut the grass and do that. But I will take the grass off to make it easier to get access to drill holes for the distribution blocks. So that's it. It's Sunday. I'm going to go chill out, relax. I'm going to spray those black first and then go enjoy my day. Hope you all have a great day too.